Good morning. It's November the 25th. I'm down on South Albert. Just dropped the car off to get snow tires, belatedly. Uh, it's our second car. It's a used car, and it came with snow tires. And I thought, I should have those put on, or at least assuming that they're actually in good enough shape to use. So first they're going to inspect them, and then if they are in good enough shape, they'll put them on. But of course, I thought I had more time. And then a week ago today, there was no snow. A week ago today, there was no snow. I think I'll put up my hood before I go any further. I can tell it's going to be cool enough that I'm going to want it, because this is a long walk. It's about 45 minutes home from here. Oh, I buttoned it to the wrong thing. Clever me. It was minus 19 when I got up, so that's -1 Fahrenheit, something like that. -1, -2 probably. So it is a cool morning. Nevertheless, I will find my way home through the snow and then Uber my way back down here when the time comes. Not doing this walk twice today. I don't think the sidewalk's necessarily all that well cleared here and there, so we may have to walk through some parking lots here. For example, the Petro can here. It's because the sidewalk is not well. This gimbal is still not tracking properly. If you're wondering why you're getting the odd camera movements there. The sun is up. It's well after 9:30 actually. But still low because it's winter. Yeah, see, I wanted to point straight ahead, and it keeps, for some reason, kind of wandering. The sidewalk's fairly well beaten down, but it certainly hasn't been cleared, most of these areas. I think we'll walk through the parking lot here, too. These are the kind of piles of snow I normally would expect to see at the end of the winter. So we really did get a good chunk of snow right off the bat here. There's a better cleared sidewalk. Go past the big co-op gas station. You can see the snow is still piled up on the median from the plows. They'll make a special trip out with trucks and things soon and clear that off. They already did the first snow. At least they did up in further north. It's possible that's both snows down here. I don't really know. On the other side of that pile of snow is the gas station. I think I'll be warm enough as I keep walking. I may wish I had my heavier gloves, though. I have to start putting them in my pocket. When I get home, I can make some fresh coffee, so there'll be that. Bus stop. Country music radio station in there. Does anybody still listen to the radio? I guess some people do. I don't. Used to, but it's been years since it's something I automatically turned on. Now I'm more likely to be streaming something. It's the Keg Steakhouse. Let's go through their parking lot too, just because. Well, if they do breakfast, they look like they're open, so maybe they do. Tucked way back is the Holiday Inn Express over there. This is a Tim Hortons, always popular, always a lineup through the drive-thru. See that? Cars lined up over there. Kind of a Canadian tradition, not one that ever took with me. They're not my favorite coffee shop by any means. I always like Second Cup. I like them even more after recent news items that you might have heard. But we don't have one close to downtown anymore. Used to be one in the Cornwall Centre, and I rode in there a lot. I remember taking Alice down there in her stroller when she was little. She'd sleep and I would write. It was great. That one's been gone a long time. It's the Atlas Hotel. It used to be called something else. It used to be a travel lodge. It has a water park, so I was in there a few times for kid birthday parties. Popular place for that. Opening of the legislature today. I don't think we'll see anything. We might, when we go by, see something different. Because I will go right by the ledge, taking this route. Everything's inside, of course. I don't know what time it is, except what kind of voices were invited to sing, and it would have been 12:30. We couldn't get enough people together on short notice, and that being working time for most people. I presume that was before speech to the throne, so speech from the throne? Did I say speech to the throne? Speech from the throne. Throne speech. Collaterally. Colloquially, not collaterally. Colloquially. Crocus and Ivy used to be Book and Briar Patch, our favorite local bookstore, but that's another thing. It's been gone for many years. And they had a coffee shop there too, but unless somebody has put in a new one, I don't believe there's one back there anymore. We used to come down on Saturday mornings and have cinnamon buns and coffee. Then Alice would look at picture books. It was great. It was also 20 years ago, almost. This is now called the Royal Hotel, which is funny for me because there's a Royal Hotel in Weyburn where I grew up. It used to be West Harvest Inn. There's a nicely cleared bit of sidewalk. Thank you, Atlas Hotel, I presume. And then another hotel, Fairfield Inn and Suites, Marriott property. They have a pretty good English pub style restaurant in there. It's just a little out of my way to spend much time in it, but I've been in it a few times. I think we should have made this pretty good. It should change pretty quick here. I'll have to wait for the left turn lights for those cars over there. Not that any of them are currently turning this way, but oh, or we don't, I guess, this time of day. Traffic light patterns change depending on the time of day, of course. Often the slipperiest places are the roads because of the cars beating down the snow and ice. And on we go. Just one more long walk, and then we're out of the commercial and into residential. We go by a school, and then we go by a bunch of government buildings, and then we go by the lake, and then we go home. Doing okay temperature-wise. My feet are a little chilly. Possibly the temperature has gone above 0 by now, Fahrenheit, but I wouldn't bet on it. Okay. Hi, Bailey. I'm good. Crisp is a good way to put it. It is, or was anyway, when I started, minus 19, so 0, a little below 0 Fahrenheit. And I didn't really do my proper cold weather preparation, so I'm wearing my lighter gloves and my less warm socks. But I'm doing okay. Funny, nobody bothered to clear the sidewalk by the empty lot. They claim they're going to build this, but I'm sure that depends on how much. Pretty boring, but at least it's not an empty lot. But that sign's been there a while and nothing has happened yet. It says pre-leasing, so I'm sure they're trying to get enough interest in it to justify building it and haven't gotten it yet. I've seen more than one of those signs go up here and there and then nothing ever happens. This used to be a Safeway. Well, not this, the next one. This has been Western Pizza for a long time. Let's go through their parking lot too. I don't have to wade through the snow. in here quite a bit. They have a nice big room you can rent for cast parties and special meetings and things like that. And you can order pizza. Yay. Of course, I'm also giving myself extra exercise because I brought my heavy computer bag with me in case the car was going to be ready really, really quick. And I couldn't promise that, so I'm lugging it home for. I didn't need to bring it at all. But if they'd said it would only be an hour or so, I would have just gone across the street, worked at the Starbucks. Now, I'll be going downtown later, but I won't live stream that since I've done this. And have a meeting at the bank. And then I will Uber back down here to pick up the car, I'm pretty sure. I will have done my walking for the day for sure by then. Supposed to go to minus 13, so warm up a bit above 0 Fahrenheit. Minus 13 is about plus 10. Plus 9. 9 or 10 Fahrenheit is as warm as it's getting today. There's a high school just down the way here. Some of those people are going. High school age ones. Crosswalk light's way over here for some reason. It changed before I even pressed the button. Now we get some assisted living places here. Marion Gardens. There used to be a school here called Marion, a girls' school, called girls' school. Well, this place is called Marion. I don't know who the original Marion was. That Marion was named after. I think it might have been a Catholic school. It might have been a saint or someone of that in the vicinity of sainthood, I guess. Sort of cleared this part of the sidewalk, not too bad. Well, we had no snow a week ago. Last Monday, I walked back from the hotel. It was raining a little bit. Tuesday, we got the first big dump. And then Saturday, we got the second big dump. And here we are. It's winter now. And a week ago, there was nothing. And this won't melt. Not completely now till spring. There'll be snow. We might get a thaw and melt quite a bit of it, but we might not too. Probably April before it goes away completely. Maybe May, but usually April. Sometimes March. Usually April. It's the front of the building. Next one is called Marion Gardens. Oh, Marion Grande, sorry. I don't know what the differences are. Different levels of care. Some of them are just like retirement living. Some of them offer more care. But I don't know specifically what each of these offers. I think, though, this one is more just kind of condos. Maybe they have a dining room you can eat in if you want, or something like that. And maybe cleaning services. But just guessing. Okay, we are now walking residential on the other side. Next up, after a bit of, well, it's not green space right now, white space, which is a publisher and designer approve of, white space. Then we get Regina Christian Schools. Again, a building that was something else originally, but now it's Regina Christian Schools. I think it was a theological seminary. And not a well-cleared bit of sidewalk here, unfortunately. Basically walking in the rut. Something that drove over the snow but didn't clear it in any fashion that I can see. Or barely, anyway. Looks like it just drove through the snow but didn't have a blade going to speak of. Very low one if it did. A little better. I think this is city property here. No, see, it's cleared all right here, but back there it was like it lifted the blade. Oh, that wasn't their land anymore and they didn't have to clear it. Once we get across the next intersection, then we're into Wascana Center. Government buildings, legislature, the lake. And then it's just a quick hop over Albert Street and home to the Crescents. So at least 25 minutes to go, I think. Maybe 30. Probably 25. I think it's about 20 minutes from the house to Mackenzie Art Gallery, which is just across the next intersection. Oof. Regina Christian School over there. Home of the Grizzlies, says the TV sign out front, which we are about to pass. Sun lighting up the windows. See? Telling you what to go, 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 go. Home of the Grizzlies. Told you so. I wish I hadn't lugged the computer down there. Oh well, burning more calories. So there's that. You burn extra in the cold anyway. Oh, I didn't even have to press the button. Timed out perfectly. As I said, now we're entering Wascana Center. Go up this way to get away from Albert Street. The sidewalk is right on the edge of the street, and I don't like that in the winter because you could trip or slip or something and fall in front of a car. I always think about, but then I do have a lot of imagination for such things. In my Star Trek Excalibur series, I actually have a character. Her aunt told her she had too much imagination. I was actually thinking of myself. If you have a lot of imagination, it's easy to catastrophize. Imagine the worst possible outcomes of everything. Helpful in some ways, not so helpful in others. Of course, you can also, if you put your mind to it, knuckle down, but you can also I suppose, imagine the best possible outcome. It depends on what it is you are imagining, I guess. This way. That's the artwork. Here's the main entrance of the, well, it's actually the T.C. Douglas building, but Mackenzie Art Gallery is in there, with a lot of government offices. But the Mackenzie is most of this wing here, if not all of it. I think it's all of it. Very nice gallery. I mean, galleries don't exactly make me angry, but they peeve me quite often, and it's usually related to the little cards they put with the artwork. The artwork endures, at least the best of it does. Interpretations depend very much on how preachy the curator wants to be. In recent years, there's been a lot of preachiness in art galleries everywhere. Also, I figure if you have to give a detailed explanation of what the art means, the art isn't really having the impact that you would like. Although, to be fair, even in work by the old masters, there's a lot of meaning that we now need. You now need a interpretive text to explain what the symbolism was, because it doesn't immediately register on us. So there is that. But you can still appreciate a painting and get something out of it without the interpretive text, and that's what lasts. Not the hidden meanings, but the success of the piece itself as a work of art. Things like balance and composition, color, and all of that. Well, yeah, imagination is rather important for being a science fiction writer. Had a dream 2 nights ago in which I worked out this great story, and then I woke up. I was very pleased in the dream. I thought, I'm going to write that instead of what I was planning to write for Shapers of Worlds Volume 5. And then I woke up and realized it was absolutely insane. It made no sense at all. There is a germ of an idea in it, but the details in the dream were, of course, as dream details tend to be. There's the sun. It is slowly rising. It won't get very high. Dreams make sense when you're in them, and then usually don't when you wake up. And then often you don't remember them. You have to wake up at just the right point in the cycle. And even then they fade quickly, the details were so vivid while you were dreaming them. Supposedly you can train yourself to remember your dreams better. I've never done that. Or even to control your dreams. Lucid dreaming. Never done that either. This is the Lloyd building, named after a former premier. First of, well, if you count the T.C. Douglas building, second of 3 government buildings we don't go by here. Morning. I am working up a sweat, so I'm warm enough in that regard. Even my feet feel warmer now that I've been walking around. I have and will walk when it's colder than this, but this is the first kind of below 0 Fahrenheit morning for walking. And again, did I mention a week ago, no snow? The air is dry too, of course. Okay, another government building, and then the ledge after that. Then the lake. Then home, once we get across Albert Street. It looks like they've cleared the sidewalk along here. I have to walk on the street. A very busy piece of road. We'll be walking on the other side, but I expect to get off of the road here momentarily. Well, maybe it's a busier piece of road than I gave it credit for. Next is the Walter Scott Building, named after the first Premier of Saskatchewan, whose statue stands in front of the ledge, and who I portrayed once for the Hill Company's centennial. Twice. I did it here and I did it in Calgary. Wrote the script too. It was fun. And speaking of imagination, I postulated that he had taken H.G. Wells's time machine to come forward in time to see how his beloved province had turned out over time. I have a favorite artist or piece? Not really, no. Depends on the exhibit. And Mackenzie has a permanent collection, but pieces from that only show up sometimes, so I don't even know. I haven't been in it for a while, so I don't know what the current exhibitions are. I mean, my favorite artist ever would be Leonardo, but not because, I mean, great art, but more because of everything else he did. Always fascinated me. Read a very thorough biography of him recently, which was interesting. Locally, Joe Fafard, Wilf Perot. We have Vic Sikansky. I guess we have pieces by all three of them. So, well, nothing major by Fafard, but a nice bronze by Vic Sikansky and a couple other things, and a couple of Wilf Perot paintings. Those are local artists that I've always liked and still do, and we actually own some of. Okay, it's the Walter Scott Building. Didn't show the front, but it's brick. Next comes the legislature, where the new legislature will be starting, new session starting with the throne speech today. Lots of snowy spruce along here. And pine. That actually looks like a ponderosa pine. I'm not 100% sure, but it doesn't look like a spruce. The spruce look like Christmas trees. Probably extra cars parked here with the Crown speech coming up and the opening of the legislature. And there's the Saskatchewan Legislative Building coming into sight. I'm glad you like them. Been doing it a long time. The focus has changed recently. I've been focusing on the authors I'm publishing. And as I said in the latest one for the podcast, it's going to become more regular than it was once for sure, but I'll probably keep it going. And rather than trying to arbitrarily do one a week, and which takes up a lot of time, I'll do one whenever I feel like it, and it'll be by invitation. So I won't just be throwing it open to anybody. The podcast has never amounted to much as far as publicity or anything like that. It won an award. It's been nominated more than once for an Aurora. And I did get the 5 Kickstarted anthologies out of it, so that's all been a great success. But it takes a lot of time, and increasingly I'm finding that I would like to have more time to do other things. Publishing right now, but as I slow that down, which is still my intention, although it's going to be months before it actually happens, I will be focused in my retirement years, is laughingly what I'm in, but it's not that I retire ever, focus more on my own writing again. Ultimately, I'm a writer. Given my druthers. Not my brothers, but my druthers. We're getting close to the Albert Street Bridge, so not too far now. Yeah, nothing really special to be seen in front of the legislature. There'll be stuff happening inside. Well, maybe in front just before they start, because I think usually the Lieutenant Governor will have to arrive formally. Well, I guess that's different. It's blocked off for that reason. Yeah, when I started the podcast, it was just, I invited people. Nobody was really reaching out to me. And that's why I talked to so many of the great authors in the science fiction fantasy field. I might go back to mostly talking about science fiction fantasy, except for my own authors. There's a lot of different ways it could go. I could just close it down, but I don't think that's going to happen. I've found all the work of doing it. I can do it without a lot of extraneous effort. I know what I'm doing, how to get it done fairly quickly once I have the recordings. There's not a lot of post-production. If you watch them, you know they're pretty much, they're not live, but they could be, most of them. There's a rabbit running away, staying on the sidewalk. Is camouflage working well now? It wasn't there a week ago. It wasn't working. No, it's perfect. Okay, I have a choice. There's the lake. I don't think I need to walk down there. I think I'll go up here and cross Albert Street at this corner, and then walk down the bridge. I don't know what the snow situation is on the bridge though. Maybe I'll stick to my original path here. There's a dog, first one we've seen. My unbroken line of walks where I saw a dog continues. Thank you. Yeah, I just need to find a good way down to the walkway without wading through all this snow. Up here, there should be a path through. Detour. Everything getting set up for the opening speech to the throne. And some security measures as well. I bet you that truck is parked there to keep anybody from driving up this side of the gardens. Okay, now we can get onto the main walkway and reverse course, head back to the bridge. There's the lake, trust me. There's water under there. Ice and then water. Albert Street Bridge. Once I get on the other side, I'll probably pull down my hood so that my head will start to cool off before I get into the house, or I'll suddenly find myself hot and sweaty. Here's the dam that forms the lake. Some open water still, or at least almost open. It's like a semi-frozen on the other side because there's water still flowing over the spillway, I would think, because the lake isn't thickly frozen yet. And there's our view for the rest of the winter. Like they're clearing snow up at Speaker's Corner. But I'm not going up there, I don't think. I plan to go along this fence line here, assuming that others have gone before me. I don't want to go where no man has gone before, not on this particular walk. Yeah, looks like it's been beaten down enough. I should be able to do this. Go by the sinkhole. Nothing changed there. There might be fewer pumps than there were, but I haven't done anything about filling it in. I don't know what their plans are there. It's now been a year and a half. That was uphill. I don't like hills. They're un-Saskatchewan-y. I wonder why that is fenced off. Cleaning snow up there. I notice how when you're almost at the end of a strenuous walk, it suddenly seems the last couple of blocks seem much further than the first 90% of the walk. That's where I am right now, thinking I'm almost home, but I still have to get there. There's the bridge. There's whatever it is they're doing over there, clearing the snow. Probably could have jaywalked, but I decided against it. That's about to change anyway. Nearly there. I'm going to, am I? I think so. I'm going to pull off my hood. Let my head cool off a bit more. Yes, well, I can tell. It's a good thing I had the hood up for that walk. It would have been cold, just this toque. Toque, stocking cap. My favorite series of books as a kid, and still, Swallow's an Amazon series by Arthur Ranson. Nancy wears a knit, well, both of the Amazon pirates, Nancy and Peggy, wear often these knit caps, which are kind of a sailor thing. I call them stocking caps, but I always thought it'd be funny if they called them toques, like we do. My mom said, I'm sure, in Missouri when she was growing up, people called these toboggans, these toboggan caps. And I suppose it is the sort of cap you wear when tobogganing, but the toboggan, of course, is the sled, but maybe it wasn't in Missouri in the 1930s. I've never asked anyone else from there, like my aunts and uncles. That's what I remember my mom saying. Angus Boulevard. You have to be careful on driveways because they slope down and you can sometimes get caught, your foot sliding sideways. I've fallen twice on a driveway in the years I've been walking now. Coming up on 3 years, I guess. I did even start in 2020, making it coming up on. No, I'm sure it was 21. Pretty sure. Anyway, I've been doing it for a while now. Had 2 nasty falls, and both of them were on driveways. Come close a few times, but only gone down fully and hard those 2 times, which is 2 times too many. Trying to do better going forward. Having school dead ahead. Wow, this one from kindergarten through grade 8. And we'll turn left, and we'll be almost home. Yeah, it's weird how much tougher the last 2 blocks feel than everything that went before it. As you get closer to home, your body's already saying, okay, I'm done. Can we stop now? It sounds like a woodpecker, but I wouldn't think there'd still be woodpeckers around. Oh, it is a woodpecker. Up there at the very top. I don't know if you can see it or not. You can see a little movement. It's a woodpecker. So I think I'll stop there with the woodpecker. Can I zoom in any further? That seems to be about it. Oh, no, we can go a little further. Ooh. There we go. He's probably fuzzy, but I don't think he's finding much. I worry about him. All right. Well, I'll stop right here. So thanks for walking with me. Bye for now.